Meetings like this are happening across the Commonwealth of Virginia. Citizens concerned about gun restrictions coming from the state's newly empowered Democrats are taking action to protect their Second Amendment rights.
It is sad that here in Virginia it has come to this with the great history of our state.
It was a Virginian, James Madison, who wrote the Second Amendment. But the 1,500 people who showed up to this Shenandoah Valley meeting want their local leaders to declare their county a Second Amendment sanctuary. That's because they fear law-abiding gun owners will soon find themselves on the wrong side of the law.
We're actually going to be a sanctuary county, unlike your sanctuary cities that are literally violating federal laws, where we're just trying to protect people's rights.
The resolution says certain legislation that has been introduced in the Virginia General Assembly and has or may be introduced in the United States Congress could have the effect of infringing on the rights of law-abiding citizens to keep and bear arms. Public funds of the county shall not be used to aid in the unnecessary or unconstitutional restriction of the rights under the Second Amendment. Tim Carter is the local sheriff and president of the Virginia Sheriff's Association.
I do think it does send a message to Richmond that rural counties feel like that their voice needs to be heard.
More than 100 of Virginia's 133 localities have passed similar measures. During the last election cycle, millions poured in from out-of-state groups to buy campaign ads hostile to gun rights.
And what we immediately saw from that was payback. We saw that we got New York-style anti-assault weapon type of bills proposed, pre-filed.
He's referring to bills that would ban many commonly used sporting rifles, controversial red flag laws, and legislation to restrict gun purchases, among others.
Folks, I will never, ever render my weapon.
Rural citizens are organizing against the coming wave.
The Second Amendment was not put in for hunting, as some people like to say. It was put in to defend against a tyrannical government.
Gun legislation is nothing more than a feel-good, politically motivated measure that won't fix the root causes of gun violence.
In this massive crowd, there was but one dissenter.
I can't help but think that the concept of anarchy might be closer to reality than we'd like to think.
In a statement, Republican Congressman Ben Cline writes, "Your God-given liberties cannot be taken away by the actions of men. They can only be suppressed. Speak loudly and with one voice." But Democratic Virginia Senator Mark Warner suggests taking a breath and waiting to see what the legislature passes.
There may be disagreement, but I would hope, again, these communities would register their concerns, but then, I'm only going to support something that's going to be constitutional, but I do believe there are certain areas where the vast majority of Virginians, and I say this as somebody who owns firearms and believe that I'm a Second Amendment supporter, can find some common agreement.
Other Virginia Democrats in Congress have suggested the state cut off funding to sheriffs who don't enforce future laws. They've also floated the idea of having the governor call in the National Guard. The ordeal has fired up Trump supporters.
We have Trump fans coming from everywhere, and for some, for the first time, they say that they really want to vote Republican.
Some folks took the chance to publicly vent about Washington.
I was not appreciative of our last president, but I never did any of that garbage that they're doing. I let him do his job, whether I liked it or not. He did it, he left, it's someone else's turn. Get out of the way. Let our president do his job.
There are questions about how far localities could go to defy state law, but these citizens want as many protections as possible. After all, constitutional challenges often take years to get resolved in court.
I think they've woken a sleeping giant in the whole state.
And as Democrats continue to push gun restrictions on a national level, we may see more and more Americans in rural communities just like this taking a stand. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Woodstock, Virginia.